Hello, it's Anne, the French Pharmacy. 15 things Americans need to know before going to France. If you're an American, you probably think you know all about pharmacies. You walk into a CVS or a Walgreens, pick up your prescription, maybe grab some shampoo, toothpaste, makeup, a greeting card, a snack, and a soda, and you're out the door. But when I started using French pharmacies, I realized something. The French pharmacy is not the French version of CVS. It's an entirely different concept. It's healthcare, it's medicine, and sometimes it's where you go first if you're not feeling well. And there are some things about French pharmacies I found genuinely surprising, like the fact that the pharmacist can sometimes be your first point of contact for a health problem, or that the beauty products you're constantly hearing about as French pharmacy skincare are literally sold at the pharmacies, or that you can walk to a pharmacy on Sunday and then discover it's closed. And there's something at the end I really want to talk about that Americans traveling to France really need to know. Your American prescription may not necessarily be fillable in France, even if it's a perfectly legitimate prescription. So stay with me because I'm going to give you my best French pharmacy tips at the very end, including what to do if you need medication while you're in France. A French pharmacy is not a convenience store. Let's start with the biggest difference. In America, our drugstores have become miniature convenience stores. You can get prescriptions, pain relievers, shampoo, makeup, toothpaste, snacks, drinks, greeting cards, batteries, cleaning products, pet supplies, you name it. That's not really the concept of the traditional French pharmacy. A French pharmacy is primarily about health and personal care. You'll find medications, medical products, skincare, beauty products, supplements, and other health-related items. You'll even find supplements and medications for cats and dogs. But you aren't going to go in there and grab a Coke and a bag of chips. There's not the same convenience store component in French pharmacies. And I think the difference tells you something about the French approach. A pharmacy is still a primary healthcare institution. The pharmacist at a French pharmacy can actually help you with your health problem. This was one of the biggest differences I noticed. In America, we're often accustomed to going to our doctor, getting a prescription, and then taking that prescription to the pharmacist, who then fills the prescription. In France, the pharmacist can be much more involved in the first step of dealing with a minor health issue. You can walk into a pharmacy and explain, I have a sore throat, I have allergies, I have a rash, I have a headache. And the pharmacist can advise you about what might be appropriate. French pharmacists are highly trained healthcare professionals, and their scope includes dispensing medicines and, under certain defined circumstances, prescribing certain treatments. That does not mean the pharmacist replaces the doctor, but for many minor everyday problems, the pharmacy can be a very reasonable first stop. And that's a very different experience from what most Americans are accustomed to. The pharmacy is also a beauty store. Now let's talk about something fascinating. French beauty culture and French pharmacy culture overlap. When Americans hear the term French skincare, we often think of expensive French beauty brands. But many of those products are actually sold through pharmacies and parapharmacies. You can walk into a pharmacy looking for medication and find yourself surrounded by skincare. Cleansers, moisturizers, sunscreens, serums, products for sensitive skin, products for acne, products for dry skin, anti-aging products. And this is one reason the term French pharmacy skincare has become so well known. Products are often positioned less like glamorous luxury cosmetics and more like skin health products. The emphasis can be, what does your skin need, rather than simply what product is trending. So what is a parapharmacy? Now you're going to see another word in France, parapharmacy. And if you walk into a large one, you might think, wait, is this a pharmacy? Not exactly. A parapharmacy generally focuses on products that don't require a prescription. Things like skincare, cosmetics, personal care, wellness products, and certain health-related products. And some of these places are huge. If you're interested in French skincare, this is where you can really have some fun. You'll see an enormous selection of French brands and products that may be difficult or more expensive to find in the United States. But here's my advice. Don't just buy something because it says French. Ask what it's actually designed to do. French pharmacy skincare is different. One reason French pharmacy skincare has become so popular internationally is the emphasis on skin health and specific problems. Sensitive skin, dry skin, irritated skin, sun protection, acne, redness, aging. The products often have a more dermatologic feel to them. And some of the brands you'll encounter include La Roche-Posay, Avène, Bioderma, Vichy, and many others. But don't assume the most expensive product is the best one. Ask the pharmacist what they recommend for your particular skin. That can be one of the best parts of the experience. Don't expect your American medicine cabinet in France. Here's another surprise for Americans. You can't necessarily walk into a French pharmacy and find the American brands you know. In the United States, you might actually reach for Advil, Motrin, Tylenol, NyQuil, or another familiar product. In France, you may encounter completely different brand names or different products altogether. For example, paracetamol, please correct me if that's not the correct pronunciation, is a French term for acetaminophen. So if you're looking for what you know as Tylenol, asking about Tylenol may not get you very far. And this is why one of my best tips is know the active ingredient in your medication, not just the American brand name. Even better, know the dosage. And if it's something you take regularly, have a photo of the packaging on your phone. This makes everything much easier. Now, here's one that actually surprises Americans. You cannot necessarily assume your local pharmacy is going to be open when you need it. Some pharmacies have limited Saturday hours. Many are closed on Sundays. Depending on the location and individual business, you can also encounter pharmacies that close on Mondays or have limited hours. And this is very different from the American expectation that there will be a CVS or a Walgreens open late somewhere nearby. In France, businesses don't necessarily operate on the principle of the customer might need us at 9 p.m., so we'll stay open until 9 p.m. But here's the important part. France has a system for this. If your pharmacy that you normally use is closed, you can look for a pharmacie de garde, a pharmacy designed to provide out-of-hours service. So don't panic, but don't assume your neighborhood pharmacy will be open either. Check the hours, especially on weekends and holidays. If you're walking across France and you need a pharmacy, look for the green cross. That's your signal, and you'll see them throughout French cities, towns, and villages. Some are tiny neighborhood pharmacies, others are enormous. And if you're specifically interested in skincare and beauty products, look for a larger pharmacy or a parapharmacy. Don't be afraid to ask the pharmacist. Here's one of my favorite things about the French pharmacy experience. You don't have to walk in knowing exactly what product you want. You can explain the problem. My skin is incredibly dry. I need sunscreen. I have an upset stomach. I need something for allergies. And then let the pharmacist make a recommendation. You don't have to know the French brand. You don't necessarily even have to know the exact product. Tell them what you need, and that's what they're there for. Learn one very important French word, bonjour. And here's a tiny cultural tip that applies even to the pharmacy. Bonjour. Say it first. Don't walk up to the counter and immediately say, do you have? Whatever it is. Start with bonjour. Then explain what you need. It's a small thing, but one of those French social rituals that can make the interaction go much more smoothly. And if you don't speak much French, don't panic. You can use your phone, show them a picture, show them your medication packaging, use a translation app such as Google Translate. The goal isn't to speak perfect French. The goal is to communicate. Can you get your American prescription filled in France? Now we're getting into the really important stuff. If you're going to be in France for an extended period, do not assume your American prescription can simply be taken to a French pharmacy and filled. It may be possible, but it may also be more complicated than you expect. The medication might not be marketed in France under the same name. It might not be available. It might be regulated differently, or there may be a French equivalent that is used instead. And there's another issue Americans may not think about. The reason you're taking the medication matters. A medication can be prescribed in the United States off-label for a particular condition. That's legal in the United States and can be a normal part of the medical practice. But you cannot assume a French doctor will prescribe the same medication for the same condition. The medication may be available in France, but the particular use you're receiving it for may not be an approved indication there. So you could have a completely legitimate prescription from your American doctor and still discover that getting the same treatment in France isn't straightforward. A French doctor may recommend a different medication or treatment that is appropriate and authorized for that condition in France. What to do before you run out of medication. This is one of the most important tips of the entire video. Don't wait until you're almost out. If you're traveling to France with prescription medication, bring enough for your trip whenever possible, and make sure you understand the rules that apply to your medication. Keep it in the original labeled packaging and have documentation available. Know the generic name, the active ingredient, the dosage, why you're taking it, your doctor's information, and a copy of the prescription. And if you're staying in France for an extended period, find out before you leave the United States whether the medication is available there and how someone in France would obtain it. Because discovering this information when you have 3 pills left is not the time to discover it. So what do you do if you're already in France? First, go to a pharmacy. Bring your medication packaging and whatever documentation you have. Explain what it is and why you take it. Ask whether the medication is available in France and what your options are. The pharmacist may be able to help you directly, or they may tell you that you need to see a doctor. If you need a French prescription, you'll need to be evaluated by an appropriate healthcare professional. And remember, don't assume your American prescription automatically transfers into the French system. Different countries have different rules. My best French pharmacy tips. Okay, if you're traveling to France, here are some things I want you to remember. Number 1, learn the word pharmacy and look for the green cross. Number 2, don't assume it's a convenience store. The French pharmacy is primarily about health, medicine, beauty, and personal care. Number 3, if you're looking for skincare, check out a pharmacy or parapharmacy. You may discover an entirely different world of French skincare. Number 4, know the active ingredients in your medications. Don't rely on the American brand name. Check the hours, especially Sunday, Saturday, Monday, holidays, and evenings before traveling to a pharmacy. Number 6, if it's closed, look for a pharmacie de garde. Number 7, ask a pharmacist for help. That's one of the advantages of the French system. Number 8, say bonjour before asking your question. It matters. And number 9, the big one, if you're taking prescription medication, figure out the French situation before you travel. Don't wait until you're running out. The bigger cultural difference. The more I experienced France, the more I realized that the French pharmacy isn't really just about medication. It's a reflection of a larger difference in how France approaches health, beauty, and everyday life. In America, healthcare, beauty, retail, and convenience can feel like completely separate industries. In France, they overlap. The pharmacist isn't just a person who hands you a prescription. The pharmacy isn't just a store. And skincare isn't necessarily treated as purely cosmetic. There's this interesting intersection between health, beauty, and self-care. And I think that's part of what makes French pharmacies so fascinating. And before you go, I want to ask for one simple favor. About 75% of people who regularly watch my channel are not subscribed to this channel. So if you're one of those people who keep coming back and watching but has not yet subscribed, this is your sign. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button. It's completely free, and for a small channel like mine, it generally makes a big difference. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like too. That tells YouTube that this kind of content people want to see, and it helps me reach more people who are interested in France and French culture. And if you know someone who's planning a trip to France, send them this video, because some of these things are a lot easier to know before you arrive than after you need them. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for continuing to come along with me as I explore what it's really like to experience France as an American. And I'll see you in the next one. Sending love from the United States.